What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bobby's Big Board. The NFL Draft is officially in the books, and it's time to break down what really matters, how these rookie running backs stack up now that we have their landing spots. Today, I'll be ranking my top 20 rookie running backs using a tier system from F to S tier, starting with late-round flyers and upside stashes, all the way to the elite backs you'll want to grab early in your rookie drafts. We'll go tier by tier, break down the landing spot, team fit, and what kind of fantasy upside they actually have. Let's get into it. Kicking off the F tier is Manungai, drafted in the 7th round by the Bears. While I like his pass protection and power running, the draft capital is minimal, and his path to touches is shaky at best. He's an F tier stash, not someone I'd touch until the late 3rd or 4th round in rookie drafts. Next up in the F tier is Rashard Smith, a former wide receiver turned running back taken by my Kansas City Chiefs in the 7th round. The landing spot is nice, but the profile is limited. He's a gadget guy at best with poor contact balance. He's an F tier upside swing, worth a late 4th round flyer in deep PPR formats, nothing more than that, although I do see him being a 3rd down back for the Chiefs long term. Starting off the D tier is Jakori, Kroski, Merritt, drafted in the 7th round by the Commanders. I liked his burst and elusiveness on tape, but the late draft capital and uncertainty after missing last season keep him lower in the rankings. The backfield is thin behind Robinson and Eckler, so there's some opportunity, but he is a D tier stash, a late 3rd round flyer at best for me. Next up in my D tier, we have Taj Brooks out of Texas Tech, landing with the Bengals in the 6th round. Brooks is a solid power back with good production, but he doesn't offer much in the passing game and lands in a crowded, pass-heavy offense. He'll be behind Chase Brown and Zach Moss early on, but could carve out short yardage work down the line. He's worth a mid to late 3rd round pick if you're chasing potential early down touches in the future. Up next in the D tier is Trevor Etienne out of Georgia, landing with the Panthers in the 4th round. The draft capital is solid, but the landing spot is brutal. He's stuck behind Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, and Jonathan Brooks once Brooks returns. I wasn't very high on Etienne pre-draft. He's a smart runner with good vision, but he lacks any elite high-level traits. He's a D tier stash, at best a mid to late 3rd round pick in rookie drafts. Next up at the top of my D tier is Dylan Samson out of Tennessee, drafted by the Browns in the 4th round. He was one of my avoids pre-draft, a great athlete, but I had concerns about his running instincts and lack of receiving upside. Now he's stuck behind Judkins, who the Browns heavily invested in the 2nd round. At best, Samson profiles as a change of pace guy, and I wouldn't even consider him before the mid-3rd round in your rookie drafts. Starting off my C tier is Jarquz Hunter out of Auburn, landing with the Rams in the 4th round. I wasn't super high on Hunter as a prospect, but I did love his burst and physical running style. The landing spot isn't ideal with Kyren Williams ahead of him and Blake Corum also in the mix, although Corum struggled with injuries last year. I don't think Kyren is long-term for the Rams, and if Corum doesn't pan out, Hunter could carve out the starting role as early as next year. He's a C-tier stash with some sneaky upside, and I'd be willing to grab him in the mid-3rd round of rookie drafts. Coming up next in my C tier is Olly Gordon II out of Oklahoma State, landing with the Dolphins in the 6th round. It's definitely a fall from grace for Gordon, who had 1st round draft buzz after his breakout sophomore year, but struggled badly in 2024, tanking his draft stock. The landing spot isn't bad though. Outside of A-Chain, there isn't a ton of long-term competition in the Dolphins' backfield. I wasn't high on Gordon as a prospect. He's slow, stiff, and lacks agility at times, but he does bring power and goal line value to a high-scoring offense. He's a C-tier stash if you're betting on him looking like his 2023 self again. I'd consider him an early 3rd round pick in your rookie drafts if you're chasing that upside. Next up in my C tier is Devin Neal out of Kansas, landing with the Saints in the 6th round. Neal was my RB10 pre-draft. I loved his patience, elite vision, and ability to create yards, even without great top-end speed. The landing spot is actually pretty solid. The Saints' RB room behind Alvin Kamara is wide open, and Kendre Miller has underwhelmed since arriving. Neal could carve out a change of pace role early, and longer term, he has a real shot to start after Kamara moves on. He's a C-tier value, and I'd target him in the early third round of your rookie drafts if you believe in his upside. At the top of my C tier is Jaden Blue out of Texas, landing with the Cowboys in the 5th round. I wasn't high on Blue pre-draft. He had ball security and vision issues that worried me, but the landing spot is very intriguing. The Cowboys didn't draft a running back earlier, and Blue will only have to beat out Javonte Williams and a struggling Deuce Vaughn for touches. If he impresses in training camp or preseason, the starting role could absolutely be his. He's a C-tier upside play, and I consider him early in the 3rd round of your rookie drafts. Kicking off my B tier is Jordan James out of Oregon, landing with the 49ers in the 5th round. James was one of my favorite running backs pre-draft, and I was hoping he would sneak into late day 2, but he finds a perfect scheme fit with the 49ers. His consistent running style, burst, and vision make him a natural fit in that offense, and if CMC ever goes down, James could step right into a feature back role. The draft capital isn't ideal, but the landing spot and clear path to fantasy relevance are undeniable. He's a B-tier swing I'd be willing to take in the late 2nd round of rookie drafts. James was my RB3 in this class for a reason. The upside here is absolutely real. Up next in my B tier is Bashual Tutin out of Virginia Tech, landing with the Jaguars in the 4th round. Tutin brings big-time speed. He can take it to the house from absolutely anywhere, but there are real concerns about his fumbling issues and vision, especially when his running lanes aren't wide open. He joins the backfield with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, but with this level of draft capital, it wouldn't shock me if the Jaguars are planning for life after Etienne. If you want to bet on speed and upside, he's a B-tier dart throw I'd be willing to grab in the late 2nd round of your rookie drafts. Up next in my B tier is Woody Marks out of USC, landing with the Texans in the 4th round. Woody was my RB9 pre-draft, and I loved his athleticism, elusiveness, and pass-catching upside, all traits that translate excellently well for fantasy. At worst, I think Mark steps into the 3rd down role behind Joe Mixon, and with Mixon's age and workload, Woody could be the starter sooner rather than later. If you're betting on long-term upside, he's a B-tier stash I'd take in the mid to late 2nd round of your rookie drafts. At the top of my B tier is Cam Scataboo out of Arizona State, landing with the Giants in the 4th round. Scataboo was my RB8 pre-draft, and it's easy to see why. He brings outstanding contact balance, physicality, and had great production last season. I was really hoping he'd land with a team that needed a power back, and the Giants are exactly that. Tyrone Tracy looked solid last year, but I viewed him as a stopgap, and I believe Scataboo takes over as the lead back by mid-season. If you're hunting for a likely starting running back with early opportunity, Scataboo is a mid-2nd round target in your rookie drafts that you should not overlook. At the bottom of my A tier is Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, heading from one black and gold squad to another with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 3rd round. I thought he might sneak into the late 2nd round, but even with the slight slide, this landing spot is nearly perfect for his playstyle. Caleb was my RB7 pre-draft. I loved him for his physicality, workhorse frame, and strong production at Iowa. Now he joins an Arthur Smith offense that's built to run the ball a lot, and Johnson fits that mold to a T. With Jaylen Warren being very injury prone and not fitting the bill of a workhorse, I think Caleb Johnson comes right in and is the workhorse that Arthur Smith is wanting. He's an A tier for me all day long, and I'd take him in the late 1st to early 2nd round in your rookie drafts, but do not let him fall past that. Next up in my A tier is RJ Harvey out of UCF, a name you might recognize from my sleeper video where he was projected as a day 3 pick, but the Broncos saw exactly what I saw, grabbing him in the 2nd round. Harvey brings creativity as a runner, home run speed, elite make-you-miss ability, and I even comped him to LaShawn McCoy. He lands in a backfield that only really features Audric Estime right now, who profiles more as a short yardage bruiser, leading Harvey primed to handle all the valuable touches in Sean Payton's offense. Payton knows how to scheme for dynamic backs, and Harvey's skill set fits perfectly. Even if he splits carries early, he has RB1 upside, and I wouldn't hesitate to draft him as high as the 106 in rookie drafts. At worst, he's a late first round lock in my eyes. Up next in my A tier is Quinnen Judkins, one half of the Ohio State RB tandem that tore up college football last season, landing with the Browns in the early second round. This is an outstanding landing spot, especially since Judkins fits perfectly in a one-cut, run-heavy scheme like Cleveland's. He was my RB5 pre-draft, and I don't think he could have found a better situation. The Browns' RB room is a mess right now, with Nick Chubb being a free agent, Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford looking like more rotational backs than starters. Judkins brings physicality, vision, and one-cut explosiveness that should make him the early down workhorse for Cleveland. In rookie drafts, he's a mid-first round target, and I would not let him fall past the 107 at any point. At the top of my A tier is Omari Hampton out of North Carolina, a player who lands as my RB3 despite being most people's RB2. Hampton heads to the Chargers in the late first round, a landing spot that's great long-term but a little complicated for immediate production. He was my RB4 as a prospect. I loved him for his burst, physicality, and dominant production last year. The fit with the Chargers' run-heavy scheme under Jim Harbaugh is ideal, but the presence of Najee Harris for at least this rookie season likely means he's splitting carries early on, which could impact his year one fantasy outlook. Still, the long-term upside is massive, and I wouldn't let Hampton fall past the 105 in rookie drafts. Anything later, and you're getting an absolute steal. There's only one running back in this class who can rival Ashton Jeanty's long-term upside, and that's Tvon Henderson for me, who kicks off our S tier and is the only other back to earn that honor. Landing with the Patriots in the early second round, this is a dream scenario. I had Henderson as my RB2 pre-draft, and his tape shows why. Elite creativity, explosiveness, top-end efficiency, and legit pass-catching upside. He led FBS in the yards per attempt category last season and proved he can handle workhorse duties when called upon. In New England, I expect Ramondre Stevenson to remain the short yardage guy, but Henderson should dominate the first and second down touches and even take over on third and longs as the receiving option. It's a setup very reminiscent of Jahmyr Gibbs, just in a Patriots uniform. For me, he's a top 5 rookie pick, and if he slides past the 105, you're getting the steal of the draft upside. Obviously, at number 1, at the top of my S tier, we have the generational talent himself, Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State, landing with the Raiders at the 6th overall pick. There's not much left to say that hasn't already been said about Jeanty. He brings elite contact balance, vision, and the ability to create plays from absolutely nothing. He's easily the hardest player to tackle in this class. Even though his long speed isn't quite elite, it's more than adequate for the NFL level. The Raiders' landing spot is about as good as it gets. There's no competition for touches, and Jeanty should be the clear focal point of that offense from day one. If there's one minor knock, the Raiders' O-line isn't elite at run blocking, but Jeanty's skill set should still allow him to overcome that with consistency. I fully expect him to be a top 10 fantasy running back as early as next season, and you would be insane not to take him at 101 in your rookie drafts, assuming their standard scoring format. This is your locked-in generational pick. And that wraps up my post-draft rookie running back rankings here on Bobby's Big Board. As always, these rankings are fluid and they'll continue to evolve as we get into camp battles and preseason action. If you found this helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who you're targeting in your rookie drafts. Also, don't forget to join the Bobby's Big Board Discord for exclusive rankings, mock drafts, and fantasy talk all offseason long. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.